here in India. Fortune India's 40 under 40. Congratulations once again. So we're here today to announce our newest flagship product. It's a flagship product that I've been personally involved in developing for the past 18 months. We've put in a huge amount of effort into building this product. We've made a few breakthroughs in the process, and we've paid attention to every single detail. Much of the inspiration for this product came directly from India. And many of you, I'm sure, remember this question that I'm always asking when we get together in our NIFAN gatherings here. What makes a great phone? And, there's many answers that we get all the time. I want a super fast phone. I want a phone for gaming. I want a phone that fits in my hand. I want a phone that doesn't heat up. And so on. But invariably, the first thing that I hear is, look, I want a great experience. Well, we've got some great news for you, because I is coming. Xiaomi's next global flagship product is coming to India first. Are you guys ready? Yeah! All right, here is Mi 4i. It's a flagship Mi device made for India. Mi for India. I think you get it, right? And of course, we're going to Indonesia. I'm going to say it's Mi for Indonesia. Just kidding. Just kidding. All right. In the next 45 minutes or so, I'm going to take you through a mini journey. And by the end of this mini journey, I hope that you'll agree with me that we've built something really, really special. So, let's start with design. Our goal when creating Mi 4i was to boil down the design of a mobile phone to its simplest possible form. And the result is truly, truly stunning. Check this out. Mi 4i has a unibody design that's just beautiful and flawless. It's a single polycarbonate body that wraps up the entire device. It has incredibly well-defined edges and corners that give it this unashamed, gorgeous, square, but gorgeous look. Stainless steel buttons. And it's nice and thin. Really, really elegant. And here's the white version, which is just as gorgeous. Isn't that? You can see how the side of the device is just this smooth edge all the way. It's super clean. Beautiful. And the contrast between the white unibody and the black display just works beautifully. The small details really drive home the simplicity of this design. For example, this perfectly machined speaker grill on the back of the device. And it looks awesome with a vibrant MIUI wallpaper. Here you get another glimpse of MIUI. And you can see also how discreet the camera is, flat and flush to the device. Very harmonious and really in line with the simplicity of this design. Mi 4i comes in many beautiful colors. Here's yellow. And here's the blue sky version. Here's pink for the ladies. And here's the whole family of colors. And another angle. Feel free to take pictures, by the way. As many as you want. These are just beautiful. You'll get a selfie anytime you want. And here are all the colors, including the gray-black version. This looks just amazing, doesn't it? So this is probably my favorite photo, because you can see the beautifully well-defined, edges on the back of the devices, all the colors together. You can see how the unibody has a rim that pops from the front of the device. The MIUI wallpaper, I mean, it's just really gorgeous. We made a video for you that we wanted to check out. Take a look. So, how big is V4i?
Five.
I hear 5.5, I hear 5. You know, I think phones in India have become decidedly bigger over the last year. But what's interesting when you ask users is that the overwhelming majority says, I don't want a big phone. Right? So we think the right question to ask actually is, how small is V4i? V4i is an ultra-compact flagship device. You can see here how it compares with the larger flagship premium devices in the market. And here's how it compares with iPhone 6. We designed... This is a fun crowd, I love it. We designed V4i with a 5-inch display. It's actually the same height as iPhone 6 with a 10% larger screen. It also has a 7% higher screen-to-body ratio, which is the proportion of the front face that's actually occupied by the screen. It basically means the V4i screen takes a bigger part of the front of the display compared to iPhone 6. V4i is also very, very thin. It's super slim. It's 7.8 millimeters thin. That's just 12% thinner than V4. It's also super light. It's 130 grams, which is 13% lighter than V4, and actually just about the exact same weight as iPhone 6. So it's a very, very compact device. This is what it looks like when you're actually holding it. We specifically chose a female Indian hand model for these shots because we wanted to give you a really good idea of how it actually looks in reality. So V4i is a flagship device that's designed for your hand. And it's designed for your hand not only because it's the perfect compact size, but also because it feels great to the touch. It has this really beautiful soft touch matte finish that feels like soft, smooth skin. And we've created a special anti-crease coating that resists stains, smudges, fingerprints, and pretty much anything else. Even in the case of a marker that's designed to stick to any surface, all you gotta do is just swipe it away. There it is. And to summarize, on design, unibody design, ultra-compact body with a 5-inch display, super slim at 7.8 millimeters, and super light at 130 grams. Soft touch matte finish, and an anti-grease coating that's ready for the test. It's designed for your hand. I hope you guys like it so far. And here are some bonus shots showing the bright protective cases that we've designed for Me4i. I personally love the orange one the most, of course. Do you guys want to see it? Yes! You want to see it? Right now?
Yes!
Okay. Thank you, Tony. Look. Yeah. And then let's look at it in the back as well. I have a white and a blue version right here. Want to see the front again? Sure, of course. There you go. As many photos as you like. I think it's a much better looking phone. For sure. You guys got some shots up there? Yep. Alright, some flashes coming up. Okay. Alright. Goes straight into my phone. It'll come out again, not too long. Okay. So, let's keep going here. Now that I've talked about design, I really want to talk about all the cool stuff that's inside Me4i. So let me start with one of the key highlights of Me4i, which if you've been following our Me India Sofa page, you already know about. Battery. Did you guys see this?
Yes.
It's pretty cool, right? We have the coolest creative team here with Me India, and this is what they designed. Our fans really loved it. This was our social media teaser for the battery. You know, the challenge behind the design of Me4i was that we wanted to ship a large battery inside an ultra-compact phone. How do you do that? This was a really hard one for us. It actually took us 18 months to get there. We're shipping a 3,120. This is the largest battery that we have ever shipped on any flagship device, including Me4 and Me Note. It's on average 38% higher capacity compared to all of the other premium 5-inch phones, which is a pretty big number. You know, Moore's Law talks about the fact that processors double in speed every 18 months, but that's semiconductor technology. When it comes to battery technology, progress is not nearly as fast. It's actually quite slow. In fact, if anyone made a breakthrough discovery in battery technology, they would win the Nobel Prize, and they would get pretty rich. No doubt about that. So how did we do it? How did we get around this constraint? Well, we did it by using the absolute latest technology. A 4.4 volt battery, which has the highest charging voltage of any battery technology. In fact, charging voltage helps with both speed as well as total capacity. Most of the other phones out there can only reach charging voltage of about 4.2 volts. We're also using a 700 watt-hour per liter polymer cell platform, which just packs the molecules inside the battery closer together, which means you can store more energy inside the battery. This is the latest kind of battery technology. It's also very expensive. Me4i is only the second device in the world to ship with this battery technology. Compared to Me4, the Me4i battery is actually 9% smaller and has a 12% higher density for energy. And it's 72% larger and higher capacity. We designed this breakthrough solution working with two leading global partners who are the leaders in battery technology. That includes Sony and Samsung. And I can talk to you for a while about theoretical lab values, talk time, playback time, video playback time, gaming time, and so on. But since none of us lives in a lab, let me just tell you that it gets you through about 1.5 days of usage. And that's a combination of the very large battery, of course, which is the hardware part, but also all the MIUI software optimizations that we continue to make to really get you the most out of your battery on Mi4i. Mi4i supports quick charge, of course. So even with a large battery, there's over 3,000 milliamp hours. It takes you less than an hour to get to 40%, and less than 3 hours to get to 100%. That's pretty cool. And that's battery. Now let's talk about the display. There's a lot of cool stuff here. This was the first social media teaser that we did. We had so many funny comments on this. I spent hours and hours just reading and replying. I think you guys really enjoyed it. Thank you for participating, by the way. Mi4i, of course, ships with a 1920 by 1080, 1080p display. I said of course because you wouldn't and you shouldn't expect anything less, frankly speaking. A 1080p display packs more than twice the number of pixels compared to a 720p display, as you can see here. And it really, really shows. Text is so much crisper, and images are so much sharper on a 1080p display. And you guys know this. So we see this very, very simply. A flagship device must ship with no less than a 1080p display, full stop. Do you agree? Yeah. So, of course, another way to talk about this is to look at PPI, which stands for pixels per inch. This is the formula that we use to calculate PPI using resolution and screen size. Mi4i has a PPI of 441 pixels per inch. And by the way, contrary to what some people say about 300 PPI being the maximum resolution that the human eye can see, the human eye can definitely see well beyond 300 PPI. In fact, Mi4i has a higher PPI than both iPhone 6 and iPhone 6 Plus. Boy, I'm having so much fun up here. So we ship display models from the world's two leading display suppliers, that's Sharp and JDI. IPS 178 degrees wide viewing angle. And we're shipping NTSC 95% ultra-high color gamut. What does that mean? Color gamut is basically a measure of how much of the human visible color spectrum the display is capable of reproducing. This is the iPhone 6 NTSC 72% triangle. Basically, the colors that can be displayed are those inside of the triangle. And this is the Mi4i NTSC 95%. You can see that it's a considerably larger triangle, which means that it can actually display a wider range of colors. That means Mi4i can display redder reds and greener greens. And of course, bluer blues as well. This is what it also means that Mi4i is capable of displaying images with deeply saturated colors much more accurately even than iPhone 6. But here's the irony. This is not an NTSC 95% projector. So you actually can't see as much of the detail here as what's actually on the slide. Anyways. Fully laminated OGS display. When we started designing Mi4i, we went to Corning, who you guys know very well, and we said, we'd like you to customize a glass solution for us. We want the thinnest possible display with the strength of Gorilla Glass. So the entire display of Mi4i is an assembly that's fully laminated. It means that the glass and the touch panel are actually a single component. There's no air gap between the touch panel and the LCD. It means that the pixels are actually much closer to the surface of the glass, which is a much better experience. So this customized solution from Corning for us has the same base composition as Gorilla Glass 3, which makes it super tough and super scratch resistant. We made a video, a pretty cool video for you showing how we test this. Take a look. soon as it lifts the phone, the number changes. Did you see that? That's pretty cool. I don't think that was by chance, by the way. We have a really, really detail-oriented film team. One beautiful advantage of this fully laminated OGS display is that it's really black when the LCD is off. Look at that. Well, why don't we see that again? Look at that. You know, this is, of course, completely intentional. And it's harmonious with the simplicity of the design that we've been talking about. Right? It looks great. You know, just a couple of weekends ago, I was on a road trip with some friends. And I remember clearly one day, one of my friends was trying to take a photo. It was, you know, bright daylight. It was really harsh sunlight. And he was trying to take a group photo, and he was squinting and trying to see the display and complaining that he couldn't actually see the photo that he was trying to take because it was so bright. I remember that very clearly. Well, he was probably looking at something similar to this. A very washed out image that under normal ambient light would probably look more like this, right? Which is a much, much more detailed image. Now, what's happening here is that under direct sunlight, the shadow areas become much darker. You lose a lot of the fine details. And this happens because your eye pupils actually shrink. They're taking in less light. You lose the ability to see a lot of this detail. And in the lighter areas in the photo, you also lose a lot of the detail because the display is trying to compensate for the brightness of the environment, and it's cranking up brightness, which washes away all this detail. You lose the beautiful clouds. You can't even see the mountain in the back, right? So we've developed a really awesome new technology called Sunlight Display. You know, Sunlight Display is a hardware-based technology. It's on the DSP, and it solves this problem using a technique called local tone mapping, which some of the expert photographers here would have heard of. Really, we want your display to show beautiful, detailed images, no matter what the lighting conditions are. And this is what Sunlight Display does. It's actually really quite clever, and I'm going to show how this works. So here's that image again, displayed the way that the human eye would see it in a very, very bright environment. So this is what my friend was looking at. Now, I'm going to show you how Sunlight Display acts, and I'm going to break it down for you step by step so you can see how this magic really happens. So this all happens in real time. So first, it identifies this bright area near the top of the image, and it reduces the brightness of just those pixels. So you see? So it brings back some of the detail that got washed out. For the midtones, which are all around sort of the other right side of the image, they're neither too dark nor too light, so their brightness is actually preserved. It doesn't change. For the shadow areas, which are these darker areas on the side where the detailed texture had disappeared, the pixel brightness increased, and the result is much better looking because you bring back a lot of that detail. Right? It looks pretty nice. So here's the comparison. Here's the before and after. Right? You can see very, very clearly. On the left, you have these darker, shadowy areas with a lot of detail lost. You can even see the mountain in the back. And on the right-hand side, you have what Me4i Sunlight Display does. And it makes a pretty huge difference. This is actually a really, really cool video that I want to show you. And it really explains this very